Simon, do you feel like from what's happened with Max and Sunday, you've learned something and the club's learned something, Max learned something from that whole experience?
I think I was pretty clear that, I got it wrong and I needed to put a sock in it because that's, I left too much for interpretation and, obviously was quite protective of the big fella. And I guess if that's, something that we can learn from, absolutely. And the key thing is that Max is actually fine. He's going as good as anyone, so he's pretty clear about what it is, and we've all been able to move forward. But obviously it was a big few days. As a club, we're moving forward, and I think we'll just leave it there and start talking about footy.
Yeah, I think something that maybe has got a little lost was people asking the question: is Max okay?
Yeah, Max is 100% fine. He's been fine. This has been something that's going on for a long time, but he's 100% fine. He's in a great spot. He's a leader of our footy club, and I went into a bit of protective mode. He's someone that we love dearly, and we have loved for a long time about what he gives to our footy club. And he's 100% fine, and we can just let him get back to work and do his job.
One of the things he said earlier in the week was that he loves how much you love him.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel when he says something like that?
Oh, that's the relationship we've got. We've got enormous care and support and love for one another. And, I think, he knew the intent of what I was trying to do. And, that's the sort of care we have for one another. And, if that's the one thing that's come out of it and that's what it shows, then so be it.
Just one more on Max from me. So he has sort of said that now publicly that he felt like Tristan gave him a bit of a touch-up last week, knowing that he's one of the best ruckmen in the game's history. What sort of response do you expect from him this week?
Oh, he's a proud man, Max, and he knows he was fairly beaten last week. Tristan Chera played an amazing game, and was clearly the best on the ground. I think gave him 5 coaches' votes. So, he knows the challenge that he's got this week against Jared Witts. They have a great rivalry in the ruck. They play against each other a lot, and Max is a very proud man. So we're looking forward to him to coming back to his best really quickly.
Looking a bit more broadly, what have you done in the wake of, what was very unlike your side getting just split open like that in the last quarter?
Yeah, we've gone back to what we've trained all summer. We said really early on that we're going to explore a way of playing. But that exploration and that way of playing can only be backed up if you come with the right intensity and the ability to win contests, the ability to pressure the opposition. And last week that wasn't to the level, and we got opened up in all phases of the game. So, we'll go after what we can control, and we've spoken a lot about the only thing that matters now is what happens next. And we get our opportunity at the MCG on Saturday on our home ground in front of our supporters to come with that intensity and do the things we can control and do the things that we've trained for 4 months. And that's what we're confident that we're going to bring.
You speak of intensity. Is there any thoughts of, I know it's Thursday, looking ahead to Sunday, but is there any thoughts of personnel changes for the game?
Yeah, we'll get through training today, but Stephen May will be available, Jake Melksham will be available, Jake Lever, his ankle looks fine, so we'll have some experience that's available to us to come back into the team. And clearly Stephen's a pretty important player for us in the back half of the ground. He not only the way he plays, but his leadership and what he brings to the team is significant, and his ability to win contests. So. He's trending the right direction.
But it's not just Stephen, is it? It's Stephen and Jake. Like the old firm, like those two together are sort of greater than the sum of their parts, aren't they, when you get them up and going together?
Yeah, look, one thing we were pretty clear on in planning heading into the season was to get our defence, our back 6 or 7 really stable and playing a lot of footy together. And, this will be the first time this year that we've got Stephen, Jake and Harrison Petty back together. So we're excited by that proposition. We think they operate really well together, and we get our first look at it this week.
2 words. I know you hate hearing in press conferences forward connection. How important is it to get that back 6 stable and right for what happens down the ground, sort of one flowing into the other, which there was a disconnect there obviously in that third quarter?
Yeah, look, I've spoken about that disconnect and that we own it and we acknowledge it. That third quarter, we had 20 inside 50s and kicked 1 goal too. So, we're certainly looking at the way we move the ball. As I said, for 3 quarters, we've had 36 entries and scored 18 times. So there's parts of the way we're moving the ball that are on the improve, but, we reverted back to some old habits and, we lost our way ahead of the ball. So, we need to continue to improve, get better at it, keep training it. And I'm sure we're really confident in time that you'll see a difference. Now, we can't sit here and say that it's all good until we start to see it consistently.
When you spoke about old habits and you said bad habits last night, which you slipped into on Sunday, is that something that is inevitable when you're trying to revamp the game style, do something fresh and new?
Yeah, look, I think anything that's new takes time. And it takes time for cohesion to build and be consistent under pressure. And that's what we're looking to do, to be a team that operates well all the time and ingrain and become really cohesive in the way we want to play. And that can take some time, but we're in a hurry, so we want to get it right as quick as we can.
Harvey Langford looked like a decent game at VFL level. Where's he sitting at the moment? A highly touted young player, and obviously it looks like he's got the size to be ready to go at AFL level. Is he someone you're looking at who can come in and from the start sometime soon?
I think we certainly know that Harvey, the quality of player that he's going to be and how he can help our team in a whole range of different areas. But we also understand he's still young. He's still learning everything about AFL footy. And we're not in a rush to force it. He's a high talented pick and a high pick in the draft. And he will help our club and our team, we know that. But we've got to make sure we get him prepared the right way. He's well on his way. But we just can't continue to put high, unrealistic expectations on young players. He'll come in and perform at his own level, at his own rate, and we'll develop him as quick as we can, but there's no doubt he's going to have a huge impact for us. So if you ask me if he's going to play this week, I'll let you know post-selection.
So you guys have got Ben Crowe at the footy club. I'm just wondering, he's so highly respected for the work that he does in the performance space. After the loss against Port Melbourne, is this where his teachings and his theories at the club, is this where they come really into the fore?
Yeah, look, and it's very simple, and it's very similar to what we do as very naturally as a footy club. It's to block out the noise first and foremost, and to get back to what you can control. And we've got lots within ourselves that we can control, so we show up ready to go. And that's what we're focused on this week, is that, get away from all the distractions, get back to what really matters, what we can control, and that's what we'll be looking to do this week.
And on that, how much do you look at Gold Coast, or how much has this week been about just not worry too much about Gold Coast and far more focus on what we want to do?
Every week's very similar. Get us right first, and then look at what the opposition, are going to present. And there's no doubt Gold Coast present. They're a good side. They've come a long way in terms of their development. They're highly talented. They play a fast game style, and they're good at contests. So, there's some things that they'll challenge us with, but we know that we've got some things as well that'll challenge a lot of teams as well.
Not many positives out of Sunday, but how much of Kate Chandler was what you want to see up in attack? How much was that a signpost for what they're trying to do?
Yeah, he was outstanding, Cade. He was probably the one player when you looked at the game from a Melbourne perspective that you walk away, that there's a guy that's really improving for us, and he was a standout in terms of his intensity and the way that he played. So, he was pretty disappointed with his performance, in round one, but his response and his ability to work on his next opportunity was brilliant for us, and he was a great example for us.
Want to see more from the D's? And don't forget to subscribe up here.